Verein08 is a very special place for me. I've been coming here since years. It's a place where I learned to be more tolerant, and I challenged my own stereotypes and prejudices. I met so many people from all over the world. Some of them became my friends. And it's just a very inspirational and multicultural place. And I love this idea that there's a place where people simply come together, and even if they don't know each other, by the end of the evening, they end up talking to each other, or just start meeting each other. So thank you, Dominic, for all the Thursday evenings all these years and for tonight. My name is Pana. I'm 33 years old. I was born and raised in Romania. And in 2007, I moved to Austria, where I lived and worked for almost 7 years. And last year, around this time, I moved out to the Netherlands, where I joined my Viennese partner. And I'm the founder of this unique European project called Migrationlab, which aims to unite migrants and refugees with host communities through cultural, educational, and social programs in order to improve perceptions on migration and to cultivate curiosity and to find inspiration to peacefully live together. I have to admit that in the past several days, I've been going through all kinds of states of minds and feelings, and I've been going from super high excitement to exhaustion to not being able to sleep. I was panicking because I was supposed to prepare my speech for tonight, and nothing would connect and nothing would work, and the days would go by and I would just go bananas. And basically yesterday, I decided to take a step back and remember why this project is so important to me, and why it's so important for the society, especially nowadays. And the answer that I had was the word acceptance. It is important to be accepted because when you are accepted, you are free. You are free to develop yourself. And when you develop yourself, you see the world and you understand the world in different ways. And being accepted has this connection to healing from existential alienation, this gap between the people. Basically, we do live together, we do need to be connected, we do need to bond to each other. And basically, that's it, the essence of humanity. And this leads to peace and love and happiness. So therefore, Migrationlab is a project that heals the distance between humans. And it's a project to remind me and to remind the world that we are all humans above all, and that we are all living together and we are all connected. So no more alienation syndrome, starting from now on. I wanted to talk a bit about my own alienation syndrome. By the time I was 25, I was in Romania, and by that time I accomplished quite a few things. I was speaking already 3 foreign languages. I traveled all over Europe. I accomplished a lot of things while I was a student and worked in a French-Romanian NGO as a volunteer. I initiated a lot of organizational projects, or I participated in European projects. I did a lot of things, and I worked in international companies, or I've been living basically in an international community back to Bucharest. When I moved out to Austria in 2007, I just came here with a very open mind and with the hopes to live something else and to improve myself and develop myself in a new environment. Looking back to my last 8 years of migration as a migrant woman of Romanian origins, I realized that in many situations, I don't want to generalize, but in many situations, I realized that people fail to see me, fail to see who I was. They would just attach a label to me, or they would just place me in a box that I could not get out no matter what I've done, just because I would say I was coming from Romania, a place that they didn't know much about. They only had an idea of the place through the perceptions that they had, maybe through mainstream media news or political discourse. This has been a very difficult process to handle everything and to basically travel for work or living or just traveling, discovering places, so basically going on holidays or things like that. I would get the same reactions, so in no matter what environment I would be. Last year when I moved to the Netherlands, before moving I said to myself, this is going to be I'm used to moving to another country. It's not going to be a big deal. I know what I have to do and I know how it goes. But I started to also question a lot my identity, who I was after so many years living abroad outside of my country, and what is home to me, really. And there was something else I realized, something very important, and that was that if people failed to see who I was, at the same time, I also failed in helping people see who I was, or guiding people to see who I was. And basically, Migrationlab, this is how it came to life. At the beginning, it was a blog where I would write down my own migration experiences. And it has been overwhelming because after writing few stories and having the courage to post the link of the blog on my personal Facebook page, I got great feedbacks back, and people who tell me that I'm an inspiration for them already. So this was really amazing, and I realized that I already created an impact, or I am able to influence or inspire others. I wanted to go even farther and not leaving Migrationlab on this online level, but I wanted to do more to create a bigger impact and getting out of the lab and meeting the people. This is how I started to actually develop the concept. I started slowly to contact Dominic last year and pitch the idea to him, and I started to contact all the guys here and asking, how do you feel, what do you think, how do you feel doing this, do you think it's okay, and everybody was so generous and so great, and they all loved it, and slowly I started to develop this cultural event, which are called Welcome to the Living Room. It's not a coincidence that it's called like that. I wanted to create a welcoming, inviting space where people come together and they are not afraid to talk and to exchange migration stories. I know from my own experience that the word migration or the word refugee has such a negative and it's such a heavy subject that people are afraid to talk about. So I started to think, what can I do to bring people together and just be comfortable, create a space where we would be comfortable to talk about these things and to talk about migration in a creative way, because as you will gonna see tonight, migration does spark creativity. And this is how basically the idea of the Welcome to the Living Room cultural events came. I wanted to present migration stories. The storytellers are free to choose their own migration topics. Nothing is imposed. Everything that they choose what is relevant for them, and they are also free to present this in a creative way, whatever art form they choose, whether it's photography or pure storytelling, or it's all free. This is the idea, to be free to talk, and usually we feel very comfortable and inviting to talk in a living room, and that's why Verein08 was the first choice that came to my mind. I wouldn't have done it anywhere else, Dominic. Another main pillar where Migrationlab operates is the educational programs. I wanted to address to the young audience and to have a positive discussion about migration with the young audience. I started to go to schools in The Hague, the Netherlands, last year in November, and talk with the kids about cultural diversity and the importance of learning foreign languages and how it is to live and work abroad. And this has been an extraordinary experience. It just proved that the kids need to have a discussion like that. And I don't think that they have many opportunities to do that. They are very curious to discover the other, to discover other cultures. And I think it's a great way to drive social change, because social change also starts with the way the kids see and feel the world that surrounds them. Another program that I want to do with Migrationlab is the social one. At the moment, it is still, I'm still thinking about it, how to approach it, but I'm very interested in working with the refugees, for example, and I'm very open to ideas of collaborations, maybe doing meeting points or other cultural projects, or this will be something that will develop with the time. Welcome to the Living Room is the first cultural event that happens this year out of a series that I plan to run across Europe. And I hope that I can bring this concept in other cities in Europe. I would like to take the time and to mention everybody who has been involved in this project. It is very important for me to name everybody who has been so generous and so wonderful and so supportive and helped me all along this project. In September, when I started this blog, I had no idea that I would be here today. I wouldn't have been able to arrive in such a short time here if it wasn't for everybody involved. First of all, Dominic, I cannot say more words. You, the storytellers, Byzantine Flavor, who were so nice to join us tonight. Andreas Bintinger and Teresa Kropacek, my dear friends, who helped me to build up the website, migrationlab.org. They are working together at Wochenend und Sonnenschein, and they are building beautiful digital projects. They have been such a great support from the beginning, and Teresa called me one day and told me, "You're such an inspiration to me." And it was again, it's a project like that cannot happen if you don't have the support, if you don't have people to support you back. Stuart Jolly Socha, who was so wonderful and is helping us to document this event on video camera. He was so great to be here, to be with me in the morning to the Radio FM FIA, where I had 2 interviews, and we documented that as well, and soon we will gonna have that everywhere online. And Sasha Osaka, who also accepted to document this event on camera. Thank you, Sasha. Christina Muschol, who a good friend of mine who resides at the moment, she's German, but resides in the Caribbean, in Martinique. And she has been so great in spreading the word about Migrationlab and mobilizing everybody she knew. And well, she was helping me as well with the translations in German for the press documents. People back home, all my friends and my family, and of course 2 special persons, Catrinel Chiriac and Adina Maiorescu, and last but not least, my wonderful partner, Günther Balatka. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you will enjoy this evening with us, and cannot wait to see how migration sparks creativity. Thank you so much.